Hello Spectrum Nation, I'm Michael and this is the Hot Lap. So Hot Lap's going to be something we're going to do every month or so regarding just general automotive news, some cool things going on, funny things, really whatever in the automotive industry. So the first thing I want to talk about today is the Ford GT. Ford GT has been killing it in different races around the world. Not only does it look amazing and performing great, can we get one? No. If you have not seen, there have been rejection letters coming back from Ford saying, sorry, we reviewed you and you're just not going to get a Ford GT. I'm just kidding, but they're pretty much like that. The one thing I think is pretty interesting is that all dealerships that sell the GTs are going to have what's called a Ford GT clean room. Basically a scientific lab where they can do weird things with the Ford GT. Just kidding, but it's going to be a place that they're going to have to spend tons of money in building, probably tens and tens of thousands of dollars. Not only that, but to invest in the transport truck, special truck they're going to have to deliver the Ford GT from place to place. You can't probably get one. Maybe you could have this one. Could be worth it. Moving on to Saleen. So, it pains me to say this because I've always loved Saleen. All since I was a kid with the Saleen S7 and all the works that they've done. They're getting shit still for not delivering on their promises and crushing hopes and dreams and aspirations of all Saleen lovers around everywhere. Defaulting on deliveries and all sorts of things from a financial standpoint. Probably going underwater. Texas Ford dealership is now suing them. I'm sure they have other lawsuits, but it's kind of a shit show at this point. Which kind of sucks because the new Saleen Mustang looks really cool. You ever have one of those days where you're driving, you're behind someone, and it just won't get out of your way? You're like, you're in the left lane, you're going 30 miles an hour. There's a 50 mile an hour speed zone here. Get over. Well, it happens in F1 also, and there are rules to prevent that from happening. If a faster driver is about to pass a slower driver, they're supposed to move out of the way. They're supposed to right away. Well, for Lewis Hamilton, it looks like he was stuck behind some slow traffic. The flag was out saying, hey, move over, but it did not happen. So as you can see here, sometimes when you have those times in the road, well, it happens in F1 too. According to this clip, he is a little bird action, and on he went. I kind of have those days too. So do you love McLaren, specifically the 570S? Well, feel some anxiety as Jalopnik takes your beloved $240,000 McLaren and hoons it all over a dirt racetrack at Eldora. Now, I'm impressed. It's kind of cool they've done this, but it gives me anxiety the entire time they have this car. I'm sure the undercarriage of that thing is just destroyed with mud, so it kind of gives me kind of the, makes me kind of unsettled about it. But also pretty cool to see the power on a dirt track of that car. So props to you, Jalopnik. And moving on, some people who just want to take everything out of their car to reduce the weight, right? So they're taking out the back seats. They're taking out the air conditioning. Props to Grant's red Mustang, no AC, it's always super hot. Taking out the radio even, so there's no more music, You listen to the engine, which is always fun, but there's no music. Well, have no fear. You can always just add weight back in and add these guys in.
It's you out of sleep. I got the sheets on the floor, nothing on me.
Moving on. Is Acura a douchebag? Let's find out. They recently got their 911 GT3 serviced that they bought and owned by Porsche, and when they opened up the hood, they saw a note that says, "Good luck, Honda," from Porsche, sitting on their side. During the creation of the RNSX, they did a lot of testing and benchmarking against the GT3, against McLaren, against Ferrari. They bought all these cars without those companies knowing, and took them apart and messed them around to see how could they build their car to be as equivalent. McLaren was not as fast when they were getting their 12C serviced by the dealership. They did ask, though, where did you take this car to its top speed? Which is kind of funny. Like, where could you possibly do that around here? Moving to something that they are actually a Dbag of the month, Time Incorporated. Recently, Time Inc. Killed off a beloved auto show on YouTube called Fast Lane Daily. It's unfortunate because FLD was a great show with a great following. They had the merger with The Drive and all of that goings on, but recently they just nixed the FLD show. It's unfortunate. Their host was brought to tears, as you can see here, which is kind of sad because he's super invested and loved the industry, and I hope he continues to do some cool stuff in that regard. Maybe his own thing. I don't know. Until then, you can come here. He wasn't super pumped up or jazzed about the fact that The Drive had their own news show. He didn't think it was that great. So feel free to stop by here. So only in Russia, well, maybe other places too, but definitely something you would find in Russia is this thing, and I want one. It has 8 wheels. It can drive through water. It can hold all of your friends, all 12 of them. Has no boundaries, and all the wheels steer independently, which is pretty cool because it means that even though it's gigantic, it can steer around city streets. So if you want to go out to a party with your friends, taking those turns downtown are not a problem. It will only top out at 45 miles an hour though, so highways are off limits, but it can climb at 45-degree angle, which is pretty impressive. So, hey, you can just climb over cars on the street. Why not? It's manufactured by Avtoros. It's called the ATV Shaman. Shaman. I don't know. It's the 8x8, and it needs to be my next Christmas gift. Please, guys? Come on. So something we condone here on Special Racing is absolutely hooting the shit out of a car on a racetrack. The Aston Martin Vulcan, to me, is awesome. Not only the name, but the sound of its 7-liter V12 at 800 horsepower reminds me of a spaceship going to hyperspace. It is $2.3 million, and there are only about 20 plus of them in the entire world. So getting one will be tough, so make sure you stop by your Aston Martin dealership today. Things that we don't condone here are street racing. But we had to talk about this VW because, well, the Franken W, as I like to call it, it's ridiculous. Some sort of VW got smashed with an RS6, and then he added in some power, he added in some loud, he added in a bunch of craziness, and you get this. Check out this clip. What the hell is that thing? It's a V10 bi-turbo monster. You see here by the photo. We don't go to street racing, but like I said, we'd love to see that car get just absolutely destroyed on a track or something. That'd be awesome. Now, things that we are anticipating, the 2017 ZL1, absolutely killing it with 650 horsepower, equivalent amounts of torque. It's amazing. 6.2 liters of just supercharged V8 power. Now, Mo is our resident Chevy Camaro guy. Scott's kind of on the board there with his Corvette in our group. But I and Grant, we're both Ford Shelby, and I'm a Shelby guy specifically. So, I kind of have a little bit of bias against Camaros. But I would like to say, the ZL1 is impressive. I think the car looks damn good. And I would love to take that car out on any track, hint, hint, Chevy, you can throw me a car here, to absolutely hoon the crap out of it. So, we'll see what happens. But I think it looks great. Looking forward to, matching it up to the other manufacturers out there and see how they kind of compare. In other anticipation, the next car culture commander, possibly following the footsteps of Nissan with the R35 GTR, being from the lineage of the Skyline, we have the new Supra, maybe. Coming from Toyota, it's maybe getting at 400 horsepower, twin-turbo V6, not quite sure. How much it will cost, we have no idea. Is it actually happening? No one knows. But if it does happen, I would love to see it. It's being co-developed by BMW, so guaranteed to be an overpriced Toyota possibly. But the same kind of notion against the Nissan GTR. Hopefully they'll be kind of equivalent to some degree as far as the technology and what's going on with that. So we'll see. No one knows if it's actually going to exist or not yet, but I'm pretty excited. I hope it does. And speaking of other car releases, we just had the GT350 get released, which I am a proud owner. But we also have notions of, and almost immediately after this car, the 350 was reduced, the 500, GT 500. Keep me up at night actually thinking about, is it coming? Where is it? How much power? What's going to cost? Not really sure what's going to be going on with it, but we have seen some pictures of them with a bra on the front of an S550 driving around. These photos here, and which means that it's coming. Big Brother is coming. Front end's covered, so we'll probably see some changes there. But I want to know all about the power. I've heard things like we'll have a twin-turbo EcoBeast V8. That'd be cool. Not sure. We'll find out. All I hope is that it can destroy a ZL1, it can destroy a Hellcat, and we'll see what happens there, guys. What are your thoughts on this? This is built by motorcycle manufacturer Yamaha. It kind of reminds me of a McLaren, but smaller, and hopefully a lot cheaper, which means that we could probably all kind of get in one and mess around. But I'm interested in it. I want to know more about it. It looks pretty cool. Both of these shots here, and more information below. Now I want to talk about the hero of the month. So, we talk about Dbag, stuff like that, but what about the hero of the month? Tesla. This man claims that his Tesla drove him to a hospital during a life-threatening emergency. And this comes after a fatal accident happened in Florida due to the autopilot system. But Joshua Neely says that his car drove him 20 miles on the highway to the hospital, saving him from suffering a pulmonary embolism. That's pretty crazy stuff, and in my opinion, the future is coming, and robots are going to take over the world. I hope not, but that's what's happening. I also talk about gaming. As you may know or may not know, here at Special Racing, we do game quite consistently as well. One of the things we do is we play Forza, Assetto Corsa, any other kind of racing game as well. One thing that I recently entered into was the Forza RC tournament to win a Focus RS. To my dismay, though, a little bit about what I did. So I entered in thinking, hey, I'm doing well. I'm in the top 128. I was, 50 out of, 10,000 or so. Later realizing that I was in the wrong tournament to actually go to the next step. The Elite Series is where I had to be, and I missed out that completely. I actually went and competed there, and I was number 5,000 out of 10,000. So, say I pretty much gave up at that point. But if you are involved, good luck. If you're watching, it's pretty cool. You can catch it. I think it's a few weeks in at this point, but I'm pretty excited to see who wins that Focus RS. That car is sick, and we have a video of it on our channel from one of our followers. In the next segment here, hashtag, you're gonna have a bad time. No one quite knew how it happened, but when you're driving at ludicrous speeds and your car spontaneously explodes into a plume of smoke, you're gonna have a bad time. Derek Cope, number 70 of the NASCAR Xfinity Series, was on his 23 laps to go when he pulled off to the side, feeling something was wrong. And as he was slowing down, his entire car, front of the car, exploded into a plume of smoke. And you can see there. NASCAR reported that as opposed to that being something that was due to fire, is due to an immense amount of brake dust. And as Cope slowed down his vehicle, the airflow reduced, and this weird explosion occurred. Even fooled NASCAR techs for a while. They couldn't figure it out until they kind of dug in. And then here's another kind of facepalm thing from Road America. It makes me cringe seeing these two cars specifically drive into a tire wall. And not only that, but flip over. The IMSA actually posted a tweet saying, "Flip over to watch the race," which is kind of funny because those cars flipped over after that. Kind of sucks that there's a GT350 RC and the Cayman GT4. Love both those cars. Sad to see them flip over and get destroyed. And then Dbag wrote, funnily, "Never tempt Road America. Road America does not need to be prompted to bend every body panel on your car. It does as it pleases, which won't please you." Very true, but that is really creepy. And moving down to our grassroots section, amateur racing segments, we turn to the SCCA. They recently added their first dean. The first dean is going to be heading up their leadership academy. Jeff Lookritz, as the dean, will focus on improving the club experience and engaging members more, which is going to be great. So they can work with strategies on different regions of the SCCA to help members get more involved, engage them further, which is great because here at Special Racing, we're very involved in autocross, amateur racing, and this whole culture. We love to see that continual development and people getting involved to that degree. So we're looking forward to that. And then to finish off this month's episode, I want to leave you with the question of the month, which is, what is your favorite car reveal moment? Could be at any point in time in the history, from when you were born to now. What made you giddy when it was unveiled? For me, it was the Pagani Zonda. I loved that car growing up. More recently, it was the GT350. I own one. But what's yours? I want to know. Leave in the comments below. Tell us your story. Comment on any of the things we talked about below as well. All the links to any of the things we've talked about today are in the description. Until then, make sure you follow us on Instagram at Special Racing, at Twitter, Special Racing again, our website, and then obviously here. Please subscribe. We love you guys. Until then, I'm Michael, and this was the Hot Lap.